Summer. I hate it. Okay, hate is a strong word, but I was not built for the heat, okay? I've been here like 5 minutes and I already feel like I'm melting. So summer is just not my time of year, but you know what time of year it is good for? Reading. A lot of people that you don't usually read, they do read in the summer. Because you go to the beach to lie down for hours and hours on end with nothing to do. Whatever floats your boat. And a book is the best company. You go on holiday, you spend more time lying in the sun, so you have plenty of hours to just grab your book and pretend that you are reading it. Well, I hope you're not just pretending, and so I decided to instead of giving a reading list, give you some recommendations, some prompts, and you may choose your summer reading list from the prompts that I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna say what it is, then I'm gonna recommend a book that you could read to feel it, and then I'm gonna say the one that I intend to read this summer. So, without further ado, let's start with a big book. You know, summer is when you have the longest hours that you can allot to reading, probably in the entire year, unless you're like me and you're a hermit and you like to stay inside for days on end. But if you're not, probably in the summer is the best time for you to read a bigger book that you've been avoiding for a long time. So, the one I'm recommending is The Overstory by Richard Powers. This is a book about trees. And I've been thinking how I could describe this book and make it sound interesting, but I really can't find a great way because it always sounds really boring. But it's not. I had a great time reading it. It's about trees and a bunch of people. You see a lot of perspectives and how they connect to trees and how their lives change when they start to matter about trees and learn more about them. And they're fascinating creatures. They're really, really interesting, and we should protect them. So, yeah, this is a very environmentalistic book. And if you're interested about the environment or you're skeptical about a lot of things, maybe this is a good place for you to change your mind and see a different perspective. And the big book that I hope I'll be reading this summer is Wolf Hall by Hilary Mantel. This chronicles the life of Thomas Cromwell during the reign of Henry VIII, which is a period in history that I'm very interested in. I've watched the Tudors. I've been obsessing a little bit about them. I love Anne Boleyn. I think that's a common thing to happen when you learn about that period in history. So yeah, I've already I already gave a go to this book before, and I was loving it, and then I dropped it, and for some reason it just stayed unread for 2 years now, probably. So I'm gonna start from the beginning. I have a lot of pages marked and everything, so, and some underlined. So I'm interested to start from the beginning again and go on this journey because I really, really was loving it. I don't know what happened. So yeah, hopefully. Next, the one that everyone is talking about. You know, summer is time to read the busy book. The busy? No, the buzzy. Summer is the time to read the buzzy book of the year. So that's why I've decided to read I Have Never Known Men. I feel like I'm the last person on planet Earth to read this book. I've seen it everywhere. A lot of people I know have read it, so I'm very curious about it. And the one I recommend you reading, if you haven't done it already, is My Brilliant Friend by Elena Ferrante. I know I'm not reinventing the wheel here, but I really love this book. And you probably have heard a lot of things about it at this point. And you may not think it's for you, but I think it's great. And I think everyone should at least give it a try. Um, I think it works better when you read the entire quartet, but I know that's a lot to ask of people. I read them so fast. I think I read 4 books in like a month or something. Um, I would finish one and go to the bookstore and grab the other one, and then the following week I went and bought the third one and so on. So yeah, I devoured the entire quartet. So if you haven't read it and you've been, you know, you've been hearing about it, I'm sure you have, because it's been on so many lists and so many people have talked about it. 2025 may be the year. Next, something fun. I know when you're in the beach, maybe you're not with your full concentration. There's lots of things happening. You have a lot of breaks because you go to the water and then you go grab something to eat, or you talk to your friends, you play cards, so you may not be reading for long periods of time. So something fun and lighter may be also a good choice. I recommend Slow Days, Fast Company by Eve Babbitt. And yes, this is wrapped up in the New York Review of Books Classics, so you may think classics, not fun. Also, not true. I think this book is so much fun. Eve Babbitt is very funny. She writes in a very casual manner, I would say, is a way to describe it. It's just a very approachable, very entertaining. This is about um, not Eve Babbitt, but clearly Eve Babbitt in LA in the 70s, living her best life. She goes on incredible adventures. She meets a guy and then she ends up in a vineyard somewhere. It really is fun. And the one I want to read, I don't think this has been translated to English. It's O Meu Objeto by Tati Bernardi. She's a Brazilian artist. I think she does a lot of things. She's a writer, but she also has done many things. And she's quite funny. She's very funny, so I think this book will, and just the cover, the color, it just screams summer read to me for some reason. Maybe it's the pink, I don't know. And I think this will be very fun, and I'm hoping to laugh a lot reading this. Then, learn something new. You know, there's been terrible things happening everywhere. It's hard to keep up, and just grabbing a book that focuses on one topic may be a good way to branch out and just feel like you're actually engaging with something instead of being bombarded with things all the time. I would like to recommend you From Here to Eternity by Caitlin Doughty. Caitlin Doughty has a YouTube channel, she's a writer, and she is a mortician. I'm not sure if she still works as a mortician, but she was for many years. And death is a topic that people don't like talking about, understandably. It's something that frightens us all. We don't want to deal with it. We know we'll have to eventually, but it's scary. And this may not be for you, but for me, learning more about things makes them less scary. And Caitlin Doherty's YouTube channel and her books have helped me tremendously to deal with death in a completely different manner. It just doesn't frighten me as much anymore. And this book, particularly From Here to Eternity, she traveled around the world to learn about different practices, funeral practices. So I think it's also interesting to learn how other nationalities, cultures, religions deal with death in very different ways from how you may deal in your own, and make a different sense of it, approach it in a very different way. Um, so yeah, I think it's a very valuable book and a good introduction to Caitlin Doughty. I have two books that I want to pick up this summer. This is Gaza está em toda a parte, de Alexandra Lucas Coelho. This is a new release here in Portugal. Alexandra Lucas Coelho, she's a journalist. I've read her recently, her other book that was about her trip to sorry. It was about her trip to Mexico. And there she interviewed a lot of people. I learned a lot, and I'm sure that this book about Gaza and Palestine, I will learn a lot about it. She's very thorough, and she has been very vocal about the situation in Palestine. So yeah, I'm very interested to just focus on her perspective and the people she met, and just support her and the cause as much as I can in my as much as I can, you know. And also I would like to read, I think in English is Dispatches by Michael Eur. Michael Eur was a journalist that went to the Vietnam War to chronicle it, and what I know about the Vietnam War is from movies, mostly from Apocalypse Now, Full Metal Jacket, and Deer Hunter, and movies like that. So I'm interested in reading non-fiction about it, or also fiction, but just read about it in a book. I would also like to read from the Vietnamese perspective, because I think the US perspective is the one that is most prevalent. I don't know. Okay, so my camera just overheated. I feel vindicated. At least I'm not the only one suffering in this heat. My camera is suffering too. So I'll try to make this quicker so she can go inside to a cooler temperature. So as I was saying, Dispatches, yeah, I would like to read books from the Vietnamese perspective of the Vietnam War. If you have any recommendations, please let me know, because I'd be very interested to know. And the final prompt that I want to give you is just read something from an author that you've loved previously. If you've loved their other work, it's most likely you will love it again. You never know. Sometimes they're one-hit wonder, but maybe not. Who knows? So I can't give you a recommendation because I don't know what is your favorite author. Okay, my camera is about to explode. It shut down again because of overheating, so I'll be very quick. As I was saying, my favorite author is José Saramago, so I'll be reading When the Bird Ricardo Reis. Ricardo Reis was one of the heteronyms of Fernando Pessoa, one of our most famous Portuguese writers. So I'm very interested to read this one and see how these two great Portuguese writers combine their worlds, and how Saramago just interpreted Fernando Pessoa's work and transformed it. I'm sure I'm gonna love it because I've loved every single thing that Saramago has written, so I try to read one every year so I don't run out too quickly. So yeah, these are my recommendations for summer. If you have any recommendations, let me know. I hope you enjoy the heat this season, that you read a lot. If you like to, you can always like, comment and subscribe if you haven't. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!